Remember that when you are uncovering subconscious beliefs, like limiting beliefs, remember that when you are uncovering those beliefs, it is also important for you to trace the patterns and behaviors that are associated with those beliefs. Why I said that is because it can be that you've worked on this subconscious belief, um, this like self-limiting belief, but you haven't fully like traced the patterns and behaviors associated with it. And sometimes it's like sometimes you're not going to be able to do that all at once, right? It's cyclical. You come back around from, you know, gain new perspective or whatever. But it is important to build that like foundation, like have that basis of also doing that extra step, because you could be because those patterns and those behaviors are like rooted deeply within your subconscious. They're embedded like in your DNA, like in your brain. And so it's like rewiring that as well, changing that narrative as well, right? Our brains are prone to the known, safety, comfort. So it can be that you're working on these beliefs, but this thing like you like you're wondering why change isn't happening because you keep repeating these same patterns, and you haven't connected that those patterns are associated with this specific belief. And so then that helps you more like better deconstruct things, right? Because it's like your thoughts inform your behaviors, but then your behavior reinforces your thoughts, right? So it's like a feedback loop. I think that's what a feedback loop is. My point is, it can be that, like, okay, say that one of your limiting beliefs is that you feel like you're not good enough. And it could be this sort of thing that you're trying to change about yourself that seems mundane, that seems like it has no tie whatsoever. But when you stop and you're like, well, okay, what is at the root of this behavior? Why do I keep doing this behavior? Why is it so hard for me to redirect this energy? It requires you to know like what, like where that energy actually stems from. I hope that's making sense. I feel like it is. It's not easy, but it is very simple. And then you just go from there, right? Like you know, you deconstruct things and you move forward as best as you can, and you continue to check in with yourself. That's also why it's so important to be mindful and intentional with what you're doing, what you're saying, the thoughts that you give your energy to, and all of that, because you never know like what that is stemming from within your brain. And these things come up not necessarily to test you in that way, but it like these things can come up to because they're dying out, and they don't want to die out, right? It's a version of you, it's an energy that is like dying out, that wants to linger, right? And so it takes extra reinforcement to work at that, to choose to release that energy and to call in new energy. So anyway, yeah, it's like someone needed that. That was really hard for me to get out. I'm not gonna lie. I sat here for like 5 minutes just staring at my camera. I love you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.